But how about top line Tommy? So he is skating on the number one line for Team Canada in 2 of their 3 games. He's been skating with the greatest player on the planet, Connor McDavid, who called him a forechecking god. The glow up for Tom Wilson's been real. I saw a Colorado Avalanche. I don't know if it was like a fan site or one of their media members, but they were saying, I've always kind of liked Tom Wilson's game generally, but watching him in these Olympics, it's unbelievable how valuable he is and what a menace he is in terms of like taking away times and space, physical, forecheck. And that was an Avalanche fan. I believe that was before he stuck up for Nathan MacKinnon, who got hit in the head, which we'll get into in a second. But you're starting to see some of this, where like this global showcase for Tom Wilson is going very well, because a lot of people don't understand how skilled he is, how quality the hands are, how well he skates. This is the number one power forward in hockey for good reason. He's quite literally skating on the top line for Canada. Might be the favorite right now to win a gold medal. And they should be.
They're unbelievable.
And he's getting some love. But in the game that took place, I guess this would have been on Sunday. So Canada is up 10-2 on France.
Yep.
It's an 8-goal lead. Pierre Crinon, I think is how you pronounce this guy's name. I don't know him particularly well. He's huge, though. He's like 6'5", 230 pounds. It's bigger than Tom Wilson, to give you an idea of like how big this guy is. So he's a player on France. He takes a shot on Nathan MacKinnon. I didn't think it was like overly dirty or like vile or anything, but it was fairly unnecessary and pretty egregious, and Nathan MacKinnon takes a shot to the head. Well, in the NHL, like on the next shift, you have to fight me now. You do that to Nathan MacKinnon, best player on my team, second best player maybe on planet Earth to Connor McDavid. You don't get to do that. In the Olympics, there's not a whole lot that can be done generally. You can't fight. You're not really going to even the score or go after guys necessarily. Except that Tom Wilson doesn't care about your rules. And Tom Wilson doesn't really care about the norms, because he doesn't care what anybody thinks but his teammates. He is beloved by every teammate he's ever had, every coach he's ever had, because the only people, Danny, truly on planet Earth who he cares about are the dudes in his own dressing room. Mm-hmm. Everyone else be damned. So what does he do? Off of a draw, 7 minutes left in the game, he goes after the guy that took the shot at Nathan MacKinnon, and he's chirping him, and they're kind of just staring each other down, big tough guy from France, and they end up dropping the sticks and dropping the gloves. Now, people that don't know ball are like, he ragdolled Tom Wilson. Incorrect. They were about to fight. This guy does what you don't do in hockey, which is like grabs him by the sweater and just jerks him down to the ground. Tom Wilson goes down to the ice, and he gets behind him, and he's like, moving him back and forth with his jersey, and eventually Willie gets free and comes around. This guy's turtling, petrified, trying to kind of hide underneath of the official. And it is what it is. There's not really a fight, but it's technically a fight, which is not allowed in the Olympics. Tom Wilson, the first player ever in a game where he had a goal and an assist to have a Gordie Howe hat trick, goal, apple, fight in the same game. And everyone said, well, this was stupid. He's going to get suspended. He did not. The Olympics Committee, Canada comes out, says no further punishment.
Yeah, well, I don't understand that. Educate me on that. Because I thought it was automatic. What don't I know there?
First I read that it is not automatic.
Okay.
Basically, they look after the fact at what happened to decide if it's worthy of putting you out for a game. But you're not supposed to fight. Like, you are not allowed to fight. I would imagine because it wasn't a real fight, they tried to fight, and then this goose kind of pulls him down to the ground and basically pulls him around by his jersey. There was no real fight. So they got 5-minute fighting, roughing majors. They got their penalties.
Yeah, and that guy was sent off for the rest of the game.
Both of them were.
Pierre Crinon.
Yeah, both of them were. Mm-hmm. He's actually kicked out for the rest of the Olympics.
Right.
By his team and country, France. They said it was because after the fight, the way he left, he was doing like a Mighty Ducks Bad Boys bit where he was like trying to incite the crowd. So he was like walking into the dressing room like a wrestler, like hands on his ears, like, I can't hear you.
Just going heel.
And I think they were kind of embarrassed by that. I also think it might just be that they have less of a threshold where they're like, dude, what are you doing? We don't fight in the Olympics. The other thing is, while Wilson was kind of code of hockey, if you will, like, okay, let's fight. This guy just grabs him, pulls him around. He's jerking him around by the sweater. It was pretty embarrassing overall, I would say.
Yeah, I thought so.
I think more than anything else, France, if I could go full Rivera on you, was like, that was not cool. You're not going to play anymore. Canada was like, dude, Tom, that was awesome. Thank you for stepping up for Nathan MacKinnon. We appreciate that. Also, this is the guy that originally hit MacKinnon in a crappy way.
Yeah.
So that's part of it, too. Like, you have this hit, then you pull the guy to the ground, then you do the thing leaving the ice. Like, what is it that you'd say you do here? But anyway, Wilson, Gordie Howe hat trick All of his teammates afterwards, including McKinnon, were like, I love this guy. He's the best. This has been so cool. The best players in hockey are all just celebrating Tom Wilson every single day. This is my dream scenario.
Well, yeah, because Canada's rolling to their gold medal. You got to be excited.
No, because I like Tom Wilson.
Well, we here in town already know, and now I guess the rest of the world is getting to know too.
It used to be that the Flyers fans or the Islanders fans or the Penguins fans hate him.
Incorrect.
Now it's countries. Now it's France. Now it's the world, the globe.
Yeah, France is very mad at Tom Wilson. They might go on strike.
I mean, I hope ideally, if we're lucky, America runs the table here, gets to the gold medal game Sunday morning against Canada. I hope he behaves and everyone, there's no reason for him to go toe-to-toe so that all of America doesn't decide they're going to hate Tom Wilson. But seriously, to see everybody get to find out what we know, which is this is not Ryan Reeves, people. Right. This is a real
everyone's had it wrong.
Skilled hockey player. You either get that or you don't know ball.
So I care more about the fans of other teams are relentless homers, and that's that. Their opinion loud on Twitter or whatever. It is what it is. That will change or it won't. I care about from a league perspective, and here's what I mean. I can't remember who it was. They've all run together, but I think it was a Penguin. He tried to hit Tom Wilson in a hockey play. Wilson ran through him because Tom Wilson is a handsome bull, and this other dude is immortal. And he got knocked on his ass, and Wilson got suspended for like an absurd amount of games for a hockey play. Not a Donald Brashear smack you in the head thing, not a Marty McSorley, whatever. Nothing like cheap or slew footing or cheap shotting or Rob Gronkowski headbutting a defenseless player on the ground and giving him a concussion. Nothing like that. A hockey play, a hockey moment where two guys who saw each other went to have contact and the better giant, chiseled rock of a man won, and he got suspended for that. That's the crap I want to end. So I'm hoping that this helps with that. Where everybody understands now that he's not, as you said very well, it's not Ryan Reeves. It's not a goon. This is not some dude that is here to, can't move around, can't do anything, is only on the court I'm sure, only on the ice to throw fisticuffs and cheap shot people and get in fights and whatever. This is a well-rounded, fully skilled gentleman that belongs in the league, even if he couldn't throw hands.
And I don't know if you acknowledge this in that monologue, but you would never have a hockey fight again if you could help it. You think it should be banned, and you don't want hockey fights, which I think is quixotic, and that's great. It sounds good, but there's no way to properly legislate or kind of police the sport. We talk about this with baseball a little bit, with throwing at people, which they're trying to get rid of. That's even a little bit different, but there's a code to it, and there's a romanticism to everyone. Now, internationally, I guess not, because everyone's supposed to know these rules of this is how it works. We agree, we sit here, we fight. Nope, I'm just going to pull you down by your jersey to the ice and pull you around.
I thought that.
But the value of a Tom Wilson is just incredible. Now, I said jokingly, or a little bit of shtick here, I was talking about how he is the future captain of my Washington Capitals. Mm-hmm. That is unequivocal. That is irrefutable. This could be next season. He could be wearing the C. Rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
I had a little bit hyperbolic. I had said at this rate, he could be the captain of Team Canada in an upcoming Olympics. But he is winning the election in the clubhouse is kind of what I'm saying. I don't think there have been more positive pixels, to use a Ted Leonsis term, that have come out about anybody on that team than Tom Wilson. And if you see Canadian hockey or any of these guys that are huge on support Biz, Nasty, some of these guys, Paul Bissonnette.
Sure, yeah.
It's just the Tom Wilson celebration, circuit to circuit, every single game. And it's good for business. I've got, my lips are filled with smile. I'm happy for Big 43.
I'm hoping the league HQ and all the influencers and everybody that in that sphere get on board and recognize it. So when a hockey play happens, he doesn't get suspended for a month. You know what I mean? That's the part that I care about the most, and I'm hoping that's what this will contribute to.
Some of it is inevitable because he's big and fast.
Yeah.
So there's actually, the game before this, interestingly, there's an injury where Kevin Fiala, who was skating for the Swiss team, is with the Kings, is now out for the year and suffered a very serious injury, knocked him out for the Olympics, has already had surgery, won't play again this year. And it was because of a hit from Tom Wilson. Well, right away, you get a lot of the, great job, Tom Wilson. I got texts from a few of my buddies that are Penguins fans or whatever. And you watch the hit, you're like, this is what you're talking about? This is what we're upsetting him for? There's nothing dirty about this. But he'll never be able to win. And to your point, we should care a lot less about what fans in other markets think, who, by the way, would own Tom Wilson sweaters if he played for your team. Mm-hmm. what I have always cared about is just what does his national standing look like within like the analyst community and the way that people talk about him. He's now skating not just on Team Canada, which would have been unheard of 4 years ago, but on the top line. And Connor McDavid is calling him the forecheck god. So I think the arrow's trending up. I think we're in a pretty good place.